a best-of-5 series. We're going to have a match here on Metalopolis. PvP, we have oGs.MC spawning at the 9 o'clock position. He's the blue Protoss player, and his opponent spawning at the 12 o'clock is XiaOt. It's a very exciting game in Game 1 on Testbug, and on that particular, in that matchup, we had MC try a 3-gate robo while squeezing out some extra probes. XiaOt, on the other hand, stuck to just 20 probes flat. He did a 4-gate, he had good proxy pylons in position, and was able to slowly and steadily break MC, and just did so much damage on, to the worker count and just an overwhelming army. So XiaOt was able to take game 1. So XiaOt up 1-0 here in this series. Wondering how this match on Metalopolis is going to play out. These guys have actually spawned very close by foot. This particular spawn setup is actually disabled for many tournaments. MLG, GSL, they don't allow you to spawn at the 12 and the 9 or the 6 and the 3 because the distance by foot is just so short. But at the same time, given that it's a mirror matchup today, that actually doesn't really come into play. It's more meant to avoid imbalance, if you will, in some of the other matchups. I'm wondering if MC is going to divert from his build in the last game on Testbug, as I mentioned before. Try to, a slightly less orthodox kind of build. XiaOt sticking with the tried and true 4-gate in PvP, even though Blizzard tried to nerf the 4-gate in the last patch. Well, they didn't try, they really did. They nerfed the build time of warp gate research by 20 seconds. Despite that fact, yeah, XiaOt able to win and use good pylon placement near the front door to warp in units on the high ground. It's a very useful tactic and one that can be abused on this map as well. Cybernetics core timing just about identical for these two players. We have the Zealot just starting out here for MC, and then just a couple seconds later for XiaOt as well. Both players getting that perfect scouting in. Nothing too unusual for either players to really see at this stage of the game. Very standard play. It's not usually until after the Cybernetics core that we start to see these players sort of take off in one tech path or another. Still just one gas each. Now is around the time that you see potential second gases going down. Chrono Boost being used on both players' warp gates and on XiaOt's Stalker. XiaOt wants to get this Stalker out quickly to try to take out this probe. And given that he's chrono boosting the Stalker and putting down a second gas, it tells me that XiaOt is probably going for some kind of tech build. Although he's continuing to use, he's continuing to use the chrono boost on the Cybernetics core, and he puts down 3 gates. It's not going to be a tech build after all. We are going to see a 4-gate once again from XiaOt, and MC again, just like in the previous game. He doesn't put his warp gates, his gateways, up as quickly as XiaOt, and it didn't work out in the last game. Proxy pylon going down here for XiaOt. XiaOt going for a very similar build to what we saw from him in the previous game. Takes out MC's probe over here at a potential third base, although given the spawning locations, third bases it's not going to be this blue mineral base, it's not going to be this gold mineral base either. It's going to be bases on the other side of the map. Once again, similar fashion to what went on in Testbug, we have MC here moving out with a couple of Stalkers and a Zealot. On Testbug, though, the sort of wandering units of MC were caught completely off guard by a proxy pylon, warped in units, and sort of a pincer attack, a little bit, of a flank on MC's units that he really didn't expect, putting down a robotics facility after an additional 2 gateways as well that are now being warped into warp gates. 2 assimilators. Only finally is XiaOt picking up his second gas. So this is if I don't know better, I'd say this is almost exactly identical to what XiaOt did last game on Testbug. And let's actually take a look at the worker count. Okay, 24 for MC, 23 for XiaOt. Very close on that as well. And Twilight Council, okay, so it's not, he's going to be picking up a little extra tech in this game. He's going to get Blinking Stalkers in PvP can be tremendously useful. If you've got good control with your blink, you slice your stalkers well, and you have good timing with your blinks, you can really outmuscle your opponents even if you've got a smaller army. Some zealots coming out as well, and one immortal coming out. Is there an observer out already? No. First observer on the way. Apparently that type of scouting is not as important to MC at this stage of this PvP, but an extra immortal certainly is. Immortals just absolutely destroy stalkers. It's going to be very important for MC to micro his immortal and selectively target stalkers. He doesn't want to be wasting immortal fire on zealots or even sentries. And I think XiaOt here is going to go for an attack, but look at this. Nice observer here, sees exactly what's going on. How is MC going to react? Is he going to reposition his army at all? We actually have a robotics bay on the way, so we're going to have Colossi from MC shortly. This observer heading over, going to see if there's an extra base being, picked up. Sometimes a player like XiaOt, a Protoss player, can use this as a containment in order to secure a natural expansion and build up that economic lead. Another proxy pylon here from XiaOt. It looks like he's going to move in. There are going to be force fields though. Oh man, big blink here. XiaOt is on the high ground. All of XiaOt's stalkers are getting excellent shots in. They focus down the immortal, which is absolutely huge. And now with blink micro, the red stalkers here in the main base of MC are going to do a tremendous amount of damage, but look at them. They do some damage on the worker line, they kill what they can, and they just get the hell out of there. Great tactics, great blink micro being abused. As you can see, 59 to 48. MC in the lead. It's just been... Oh man. I was honestly expecting XiaOt to be in the lead. Well, actually, let's take a look at the worker count. Oh, 26 compared to 24. So actually not that big of a difference either. MC having the defender's advantage, and I'm wondering what's going to happen in this next engagement. It's closer now, 60 to 56 supply, quite even. Let's see how the blink micro is going to work here. Guardian shield going up, that's a huge advantage too. +1 armor. It's pretty incredible in this type of mirror matchup. Let's take a look at sentry energy, 100. So this sentry, one of the sentries can do a guardian shield, and robotics facility coming a little late for XiaOt here. Twilight Council on the way from MC. So these players, both of them, staying on one base. They don't really have a choice for that, but they are picking some interesting tech paths. Both of them getting lots of tech at this point, just off of one base. Now both players are going to have robotics facilities and Twilight Councils, but excuse me, MC has... Oh, did he cancel the robotics bay? That's interesting. He put down a robotics bay and MC canceled it, and I didn't actually realize that until just now. So yeah, identical builds here. Let's take a look at the units. 11 to 9 stalkers. So XiaOt has the stalker advantage, but 3 immortals are easily going to outweigh that, along with a couple sentries as well for MC. And these zealots back home, seems like XiaOt's worried about a counterattack, but MC, yeah, definitely doesn't have that on his mind anytime soon. I'm wondering what MC is going to do. He's just going to build up his final few units. MC is going to wait for blink, and then he's going to move out. XiaOt, on the other hand, is actually getting charged, so he's building up a lot of zealots. This is going to be an interesting engagement. Neither player is going to want to engage for, let's see, actually 100 seconds left on charge and about 40 seconds left on blink. So, yeah, MC may have a very strong timing coming up, where if he attacks right away, he's going to have blink to his advantage, but there's going to be no charge out for XiaOt. Final chrono boost being used on the Twilight Council. Any chrono boosting going down on charge? No. He does have enough for 1 chrono boost at this point. Oh, and it seems that MC is pushed out. He's pushed XiaOt's army way far back. Takes out that proxy pylon, and oh, 82 to 81 supply, still dead even. Oh my god, this is huge. 2 stalkers of MC get taken out, completely uncontested, just because of that beautiful high ground advantage and the fact that MC does not have an observer here. And just wanted to check something for a moment there, but here comes the big moment of micro. A couple of force fields going down, and look at this. XiaOt here is waiting for charge to complete. Charge is going to be done in 8 seconds. He could have even waited just a moment longer maybe, because he didn't get the advantage of having charge lots. I'm not sure if it's going to matter though. MC has absolutely incredible blink micro. Notice how MC is just going to look at the stalker's health and which ones he chooses to blink back. MC just has incredible micro with Blink, and he's going to have a huge containment. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to want to go right up into the main or what. That Immortal shields are low, and XiaOt knows it, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to focus it down just yet. This is unbelievable. I've never seen two players on one base for so long. 300 mineral patches, and yeah, about 350, 370. Very close. These guys are just mining out on one base, and it looks like it's going to be just one big engagement. MC does have the advantage, though, 64 to 57, as a couple more Stalkers for XiaOt are being warped in. MC can see the high ground quite easily. He's got an Observer in position. And there's detection, though. Oh, this is big, too. The Observer for MC gets taken out. That is a big deal when you're trying to push into, you know, the enemy base. If you don't have vision of the high ground, you're, you know, good luck, buddy. It's not going to be easy in a mirror matchup like this. Another Observer, though, on the way for MC. Chrono Boost being used on Warp Gates. And, yeah, same goes for XiaOt as well. Neither player producing anything. They're kind of stagnant in terms of army growth. Income now, yeah, just like dead even, but in a couple minutes time, maybe even less, both players are going to be at 0 income, and there's going to be a final engagement. This is actually really quite interesting. I've never seen a game like this. Who's going to win, though? Let's try to make a prediction. MC here, 19 Stalkers compared to 11 Stalkers of XiaOt, but XiaOt has that Zealot advantage. These Zealots are going to be great for taking damage. They, of course, have their charge ability, which is key as well. Only one Immortal for MC, and then, of course, just one Observer apiece. And I think that might have just been... oh, he warped something in. XiaOt warped something in. I didn't realize that. Actually, MC has not found out about this pylon just yet. And here we go. I think it's going to be the big moment of engagement. I got to get rid of all this stuff. We're going to see a big engagement here any second. Both players, you know, they're not picking up any bases. They're not doing anything else really that interesting. It's just going to be one giant engagement, and the game is going to end one way or another. 98 supply, though, to 89. We have a slight advantage for MC. And Stalker's actually leading the way for MC. Oh, and he burns a couple of Zealots on their charge. That's interesting technique. Look at MC's Blink here. He baits the Zealots into charging. XiaOt could actually use hold position on the Zealots, but it's not going to bother. A couple of force fields going down to prevent the Zealots of XiaOt from getting into position. The Stalkers from XiaOt do blink in a moment ago and had a pretty good position, but look at this giant concave. MC is going to win. He just has too many Stalkers. His micro is too good. His blinking is just perfect. He gets, you know, every last bit of damage out of each unit in his army, and he did have the army or the supply advantage, you know, going into this particular engagement, and had a concave that favored himself as well. So now it is 1-1 in this series, what I do believe is a best of 5. I'm going to finish up casting the games in this series. If it doesn't go to a 5th game, I will include anti-spoiler videos, because that's just who I am. I really hate spoilers. So you guys aren't going to be able to infer anything from the videos on my channel.